My energy, ecliptic, loves, circle persona, self-love, best love, world love, you knows my honor. Greetings, that be your host, JaMes Peter Bastien. In peace, prosperity, power. It's my honor to share my affirmations, visualizations, and unisons, manifestations, and all satisfactions. The mind, body, and soul is to grow in all facets, presented in procreation. This is MB9T Podcast show. May you be at peace in whatever the action is proclaiming, ascending the greatest of all satisfaction like your goal's a bullseye, actions the dart, believe in you no matter the ending or the start. For your life, this precious life, must you claim it. Time moves slow. I found you at the window again, looking out, watching the leaves falling in. And it was something like a dream. Oh, so perfect. Couldn't talk to me. Time moves slow when you're all alone. And the time moves slow when you're out on your own. And the time moves slow when you're missing a friend. And the time moves slow when you come to the end. Running away is easy. It's the leaving that's hard. Running away is easy. Time moves slow. What a day. What a life we live in. In a fast-paced society, sometimes we forget to recollect or reconnect or reestablish the purposeful journey that the spirit have aligned for us. See, the body, based on the existence with a heartbeat, based on the existence of a breath, the body's always going to be socialized, or dare we say imperialized, to the societal viewership of doing and being. You know, that's what you call the human instinct, right? The sensibilities. The body feels that through the flesh more than the inner abilities of the intuition of the mind and the spirit, you know. So in that idealization, the body is truly impacted by the eyes, the nose, the mouth, a lot more than it is impacted by the intuition, right? The inner thought. Because for most people, the glance and the ability to look inward was destructively hindered by the educational provided on the outward society to find answers in people, places, and things, rather that the answer exert within you. Time moves slow. As you can see, I equipped at the beginning of this episode, which is titled "Time Moves Slow," with one of like the best songs I've ever heard in my life by Samuel T. Herrings and the Bad Not Good Band. You know, that is just, I don't know, it speaks to my soul. And for me, being an intuitive person, I can always alternate my time as compared to the social time based on people, places, and things, right? And for majority of us, our schedules, our clock, the 24-hour system clock is set is set up for us. Whether you are currently schooling, whether you're currently employed, right? Things of that factor. The days of our life already kind of like exerted by the time, right? The morning advises this is the time to get up and so on and so forth. The night, the dawn, lets you know this is the end of the day. This is time to get rest and start planning for the next day, so on and so forth. So essentially, as humans, we can abide our lives through the times that the day give us, but also our life, depending on the purpose of our life, can be abided by its own time and its own recollection of what's needed to be done at such moment. So time could move truly fast. It could be really, really fast, right? And it's one of those things where, as you look at time, for some people, uh, being active, time moves at a rate where you don't even see time moving because you're just in that moment, right? And then for those who, in such moments, whether it's work, whether it's school, things of that nature, where you find yourself in time, but you find your spirit out of that time, meaning that you're either glancing in visualization of thoughts, right? Either you're in your mind being somewhere else rather than the physical location that your body exerts you to be at the moment. And a lot of that goes to that notion of time moving slow because running away is easy. It's the leaving that's hard. So to quote that song more, find yourself wanting time to move fast, right? And this is the method of living the assembly line as we are workers, as we are students in this lifetime, right? So whether it's the things that you don't like to do, you find yourself irritated amongst like why the time's not moving fast, and why is that not the same as compared to when you're having fun, when you're out with your friends or you're doing the activities that brings joy, laughter, excitement into your life. You wonder how come that's going faster than ever, right? And that's because if you think about the power of silence, it's a powerful idealization that can be in action. It's a powerful idealization that can converse back to you. But in reality, the power of silence go to the power of motioning or notioning nothing at that moment. And what silence allows, well, for those who practice such, if you practice silence, you'll realize time moves fast in silence too, because silence is another viewership of you being in tune with yourself. So time moves whenever you're adequately in depth with the viewerships or the thought process of your spirit by the intuition guided you, right? Time moves fast because there's things to be done. There's things to be, there's things to be done. There's things that you're doing that unifies with the seconds, with the minutes, with the hours of the days. When you're out of mind, out of sight from the perspective of doing the things that you don't find enjoyment in, doing things for other people that doesn't bring you growth, time move slow. Know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful balance with this life. It's a beautiful balance because also in fast timing, you can find yourself in a viewership where your days are flying by. Your days are flying by. You're set up on somebody else's schedule, whether it's work, whether you're going to schooling, whether it's different programs or activities, hobbies that you're intrigued in, and obviously you have a 24-hour system clock setting that we live and operate by as humans. So within that, not implementing the hours that's needed for rest as time for yourself, because that's time for health in general. We all got to rest. We all got to recoup our bodies. So whether it's at 6 to 8 hours, right? So on the 24-hour aspect, you're looking at anywhere between 16 to 18 hours left out your day. And the idealization is, how many of those hours do you give to yourself? Whether you work 8-hour shift, right? Whether you have kids, you have other people that you're supporting, whether you're in school, so on and so forth. So within that time span, let's say between your school, work, other activities, so on and so forth, take about 10 to 12 hours out your day, right? So between those activities, you're looking at 10 to 12 hours plus the sleep of 6 to 8. So anywhere you're ranging from, let's see here, what's that? You're ranging anywhere from 16 to 20 hours given up, right? So within the 4 hours of the quote unquote so-called free time, besides your driving or whatever extracurricular activity that you're doing, pooping, eating, whatever, right? How many times did you really just set for yourself out that day? And the answer is really, it's not really that much time left over. It's not that much time left over. So for those who are equipped in their mind, right, and find validity amongst what they want to do and be, time can also be a fast pace, right? It can be a fast paced perspective because we all have a universe within us, but we all share an earth, right? So within even our creativity, within our visions, we all need someone help. We all need each other together to make this happen, right? To make this a better flow amongst the human experience, right? But in that recollection, we all gotta have time set for ourselves. Like socially, there's no way we can go back to, or if we think there was a time where people live off the land, they didn't go to school, they didn't need money, like, we're not going back to those days. That's not the case. And I think for a lot of time in spirituality, people are lost because it's like, oh, this is not the way of living, this is not the way God opposed it to be. We can argue a lot, right? But in arguments, you'll find that there's less solution available because everybody's debating what they think is their biggest viewpoint in such argument. But realistically, we gotta look into like the solution. What's the solution in these moments? Arguments don't find no clarity, right? So we gotta look into the circumstance, be truthful to the circumstance, and finding how do we make or enhance things. So in that point for me, rather than looking into the idealization, oh, we're stuck in this time, blah 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 blah, you have to look in this time and align yourself to find what's meaningful and purposeful for you, right? So as a man, no matter what, I know finance rules my life in that sense because I have to utilize finance, right, to get the needs in my life, right? The structure and stability that's needed as a man in my life, right? As a man, every man may go through their life seeking yearning, different aspect of what their desire is set to be. So in my truth, peace is like the ultimate tranquility for me, because within my peace of reasoning, which is silence, which is practicing healthy lifestyle, whether it's my meditation, whether it's fitness, whether it's um, being more mindful, right? All these factors that impact my life, it goes into that notion that no matter how much money I have, no matter how much social success I can be defined under, my opposition to that is my own internal success, my own internal ways, the way I look and view and feel about myself, right? So it's nothing about how much money I have, it's nothing about how much friends I have, so on and so forth. A success key for me is having peace. A success key for me is being able to go into silence or find silence whenever I like to without it being an issue with anybody else in my surrounding. Being able to afford the silence without that hindering my finance or anything to that point. So for every man or woman, I would say, I think the biggest key is finding your niche amongst the lifestyle you want to live rather than living in someone else's views, right? So time moves fast or time moves slow amongst the notions that even if you are a spiritual being, even if you're not a spiritual being, you're still going to get both, how can I say, both compass, both directions of energy flowing into your life, right? The fast pace of a non-spiritual being person is that, all right, you're in a constant feel of your days, and your days are scheduled out, whether it's you giving time to socialism of your phone and things of that nature, whether it's your work, your work asking of your time and your energy, whether it's your friends and family, so on, right? And that could be, again, non-spiritual being, right? And what that person is lacking in balance is their own intuition to either like meditate for a couple minutes, a couple hours a day, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's retreating all the technological um, items or equipment that we have that takes away some moments of time for you to just gravitationally figure out what's right or wrong for you, rather than your devices or other people and things telling you what's right and wrong for you, right? So that non-spiritual person that's living a fast-paced life need a little time to move slow too, amongst like finding things that they can find joy and peace in, rather than seeing the clock utilize their time and effort and energy to where they don't even see the success that they're putting in life, right? It's just you wake up, you get this done, you do this, somebody call you to do this and do that. Where do you find that point in your life, right? You have a spiritual person. Life can be super fast paced too. You can you can be attentive. You can be mindful of how much peace you want peace in your life. Whether it's the nutritional aspect of the food that you intake and that you're mindful of, whether it's the time, how you start your day. Like, hey, I don't want to touch my phone until I do my meditation, so on and so forth. Right? That spiritual being, no matter how much they attempt to move to make time move slow, it's still a fast pace because our society is currently in a fast pace, right? So that spiritual being, they still need to connect with those other beings regarding on their financial aspect of, hey, I gotta get my bills paid. So whether you're rich or stuff like that, and you don't need to be on somebody else's time, regardless, still as a spiritual person, you still need to adequately move with those who may not deem to be as spiritual as you, who may not be caring among their peace and their tranquility, things of that nature. It's still a balance to where you, as that spiritual being, gonna have to understand that you're gonna have to give up some time too, in order for you to give up your peace, right? Whether it's dealing with people that you don't want to deal with on a daily basis, or working in the environment of things that's not the best for you, and so on and so forth, you're going to have to make them sacrifices as well, right? You're going to have to make those sacrifices, but it's going to have to be you with that balance of your mindfulness to say, okay, 8 hours, 10 hours out the day, whatever, however much I'm giving up. But if I have 4 hours left over to do mine, I'm going to make sure I give an hour out the day, either for my body, either for my mind, either for my spirit, to be able to replenish itself, knowing that it's currently living in a systematic assembly line approach where our days are already accounted for, our options are attempting to be chosen for, things of that nature, right? You want to give yourself as much leeway to say, hey, I can do better, but also not to be so hard on yourself, because you're in a structured society that want to kind of limit your abilities and so on and so forth. So understand that, the bottom line, the bottom notion of this episode is to understand that your time is your time. Sometimes it's going to be in a fast-paced situation, and sometimes you're going to need to just, for the betterness of yourself, slow that time down. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Pick it up. You know what I'm saying? And having to slow it down. So, like, it's all upon being subjected to what's right for you, rather than doing what's right for everybody else, and not and hindering your own growth. You know what I mean? So in this lifetime, may you be at peace, you know what I'm saying, to the life that you want to live, to the life that you want to fulfill, to the life that you visualize, that you want to affirm in action and manifest to this day and age. All I can tell you is that there won't be no other success level, or there won't be no other better failure that you can hear besides your success or your failure. And a lot of that, sometimes we predicate other success or failures to be ours, right? And that's the issue. Nobody's success, nobody's failure belongs to you. They can be either utilized, the success factor as to be inspiration, right? Or the failure factor as experiences of what to do or what not to do in order to gain. The compare and contrast takes a lot. It takes a lot from your own ability. If I'm a short person looking at a tall person's ability, I don't find the greatness of my abilities. I have to look into myself and what I can do best. And I can find inspiration from a tall person and say, that's pretty good, right? But I can still find that same inspiration to myself and say, wow, but look at my effort. Look what I'm doing. Although my size is a lot lesser, and so on. However you want to depict that. That's the viewership of life, that you have to understand that you got the best life. There's no such life than the life that's better than yours, because it's your life. If you don't see life that way, then of course you're going to be looking at life through the other kinds of greatness based on other people's views and perspective of what it is to be great or not. You know what I mean? So all love, again, thank you for listening to another episode of MB9T Podcast Show, Mr. Bastien 9 Tablet Podcast Show. And again, much love and admiration for you. You being a spiritual being means that whatever you want in this lifetime, you can get done. Whatever you desire in this lifetime can be accomplished. You are God, you are a goddess. You are God or you are a goddess, right? You are a devil, you are whatever you want to appoint yourself and claim to be. So if it's the positive, righteous view that you see of yourself, do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody else amongst your surroundings limit your own growth or your own value to yourself. You know what I mean? And all love, peace, prosperity, power, in every second of every minute to every hour. This has been the MB9T Podcast Show. Take care. Till next time.